Hi, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing. And today we're going to be joined by Allison Jackson, as we did last week. So we're glad to have her back. Before we get into Allison's presentation, I'm going to bring Bill Seitz from Clearview Mortgage on the line. And I'm also going to bring Cameron Alley from Clearview. Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Doing great.
All right. Good morning.
Morning,
So
Kevin.
Bill, yes, we are well. It is a good Wednesday. Excited to be here. So why don't you guys bring us up to speed on, I think you had something you wanted to go over first, Bill. Am I right?
Yeah, I just want to, I know Cameron's got a few announcements, but I want to just let everyone know that the Federal Housing Finance Agency removed their basically 50 basis point kind of premium that they had built in as an adverse market. They built in a little pad for themselves, especially over the last year when the pandemic was in full swing, and that has been removed. So the rates for refinancing have gotten incredibly good. And I just priced out a $500,000 cash out this morning, 2.8 getting cash out, which is amazing. And just rate and term down to 2.7 with no cost for that rate. So once again, money is super cheap. And the fact that they did remove that adverse market kind of premium into the rate sheet, it's gone now. Rates have come back down quite a bit.
Amazing. No, that's really good news. Great thing great reason to reach out to a client or a past client. And so awesome, buddy.
Yeah. I'm sure Cameron will have a couple things here to add into there.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Good morning, Cameron.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah. We can hear you fine.
Oh, okay. Great. I was on the Zoom meeting and it said like it couldn't unmute or anything, but yeah. So anyways, I'll tell you what, coming on these webinars must be good luck because ever since we started doing it, rates have just gotten better and better. So, but we're looking at like one. So the 10 years, a little volatile, but overall the the trajectory of it has just continued to go down. We're at like a 1.29 right now, which is a little higher than yesterday, but still a lot lower than that like 1.5, 1.6 region we were running around. But and then some other news too, as far as like our processes here at Clearview, they just keep on getting polished up and keep on getting better. This week, the last 6 days, we had 2 loans that got a clear to close in 1 day. So pretty incredible stuff. I mean, we're really building something special here to make sure that, we give our refi clients something very special, but also offer all the Alta realtors some, a process that really can't be matched anywhere else as far as like speed and service for your clients. So, but that's, pretty much it that I have today. Keep it short and sweet, but hope everyone's having a good Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Cameron. And I mean, this is incredible stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, between you and Bill, I know you guys have you've worked for other groups and with other banks. Have you guys ever seen anything like this, these turnaround times?
No, I mean, not this good,
Yeah, right.
Here we just have, we have a lot of creative control over the processes. We also, have a really good team member over at the escrow company that we use for our refis, who's absolutely incredible as far as like, turn times and getting docs back. And, it's a lot of it's just communication, and it's just training and processes and making sure that, you're organized and you have a game plan for everything. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's definitely showing. To answer your question, no, I haven't seen it this fast for sure.
just to add to real quick, one thing it's just a competitive advantage in the purchase business because I'm working with Brian Miller on a deal, and obviously super competitive out there right now. You guys are having to really flex at every capacity to showcase that you guys can perform with the buyer and that they got their financing in place. But once again, Brian had this, he probably wrote 6, 7, 8 offers with this buyer that we're working with. And we shortened down the contingency periods down to 5 days on the loan approval. We got the full loan approval in the same day we submitted the loan. So that being said, if you guys are having trouble getting offers accepted, you need to call us so we can help you structure the offer so it's not beatable. Like, you're not going to have another bank or another mortgage person be able to get that approval that quickly. And so when those offers are submitted and you shorten down the loan approval to 3-5 days, we can get it done. We can perform and we can get the loan approval. So that's a huge competitive advantage. So just keep that in mind. If you're getting stuck and your lender's like, oh, well, I need the 14 days or I need the 17 days or the 21 days. That's just not going to cut it.
No, not at all. So good point.
Yeah, I mean, I've even had listing agents and escrow companies that have worked with us for the first time, like on a couple purchases, that are just, blown away by how well we communicate, because we communicate throughout the entire process, and we're faster than, I can literally say that we're faster than anyone in the business right now. So it's pretty great to see.
Absolutely. Good job, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, Bill, thanks for being on the line. Cameron, thanks for being on the line. I know, Bill, you probably have to get to a lot of stuff today, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy hump day, and enjoy the rest of the webinar.
All right, thanks, pal. All right, so Allie, we are glad to have you back again. Last week was really great. I took a lot of great notes, and I know a lot of our agents did. So let's have you pick up where we left off.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. And if you wouldn't mind just enabling screen sharing, because I have a few slides to share here today.
I forgot to do that again, didn't
That's okay.
There you go.
Sure, I'm grabbing the right one here.
Yeah, you always have good slides for us.
You should be seeing it now. Is that correct? You're seeing just a big escrow option slide?
Yeah, looks perfect.
Okay. I always want to make sure that I am sharing what I mean to be sharing.
Exactly right. I know I have 2 screens. Like, who knows, right? I could be sharing all kinds of stuff.
So, and now you should just be seeing a little bio about my background. Is that correct?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, awesome. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time getting into this, but my past life, as many of us have in real estate, I've actually been in advertising and marketing with ad agencies and some large corporations. But what I'm most excited about with my background is that I grew up in a real estate family. And so when I moved over into escrow, I viewed this as an opportunity to combine what I know and understand about real estate into true marketing programs that can help agents in their success and their endeavors. So it's a passion of mine. And as anyone out there is working on your plan, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, because this is what I'm here for. I want to help you out. So anyhow, without further ado, I'm going to jump into a quick review of what we did last week, super quick, and then getting more into the marketing tactics this week. So
that's perfect. Yeah, we always, okay, what did we go over last week? All right, so great, thank you.
Absolutely, and I trust everybody received a copy of that template that I sent over to you, Kevin.
Yes, of course I did.
So that was a Word document. So I just set it up as a template with each of these headers. And this is it is a template. Some people prefer to kind of boil some of these parts into one. And that's fine. The whole idea of a marketing plan is for you to put down what works for you, so that you have something that gets you up in the morning, so that you are on track and have something to check your activities against where it is you want to go. So you're not, not like one of those dogs running around in a circle so cute on YouTube chasing their tail.
Good point.
I like visual stories here. So to start with, I always recommend having a strong vision. It's your beacon of it's what gets you up in the morning. And then your vision, your mission statement, which is really, sort of your roadmap of how you're going to get there. And then having goals set up, and I recommend SMART goals, which is specific. So it's X and Y versus more. So it's not, I want to have more sales this year. That's not a specific goal. It's I want X number of listings with X number of sell side deals and X number of buy side deals. That's more specific. And that ties into being measurable. How many, how much. You want it to be achievable, which is realistic. There's nothing wrong with having a stretch goal. I highly encourage it. But if you're doing real estate, for example, part-time, and you did 2 deals last year, and you have the same amount of time to give to your real estate business this year, it's very achievable to say you want to double that and have 4 deals. It's maybe not so achievable to say you want to have 32 deals and you're carving out 10 hours a week. And I'm sure Kevin can attest to that, and you can work with him on making sure, given the time and your background, what would be and what wouldn't be achievable.
Absolutely.
And then you want them to be relevant. You want to make sure that your goals are in alignment with where you want your business to go. And then, of course, the T in SMART is time bound. How many by when? In fact, I have a little sticky note up on my computer screen. How many by when? Constantly want to ask yourself that and be in alignment with that. And then we talked about market analysis, your value proposition, which is like your elevator speech, or what did you call it, Kevin? Your cocktail party speech?
That's right. Cocktail spiel.
Cocktail spiel, right. You got to have that. So it's just quick and efficient, knowing who you are in that marketplace. And also part of that is understanding the competitive landscape. And not only the agents that really know and own your farm, but also other competitive factors that will step into your space. And then also knowing your market, your target market. So that's taking a look at your current base, the niche that you want to work in, and understanding both the demographics and the psychographics of the people that are in your sweet spot. And then lastly, we talked about the strategy, and that's your GPS, it's your game plan. That really is the crux of where you want to go, is understanding your market strategy, because that's going to keep you out of going down the rabbit hole and wasting your time and money on tactics that don't align with your strategy. And if there's any questions on any of this, feel free to pop it on in the chat, and then Kevin can jump in and ask that question while we're going along here.
Yeah, speaking of rabbit holes, stay away from those rabbit holes. My wife and I always talk about that, and she'll say, "Oh no, I'm down a rabbit hole," and so I'll try to like bring her back out of the rabbit hole. So,
yeah, it makes me think of that Disney movie Up, where, "Hi, I'm a talking dog, a squirrel."
Right.
So beware of the shiny objects
Oh,
that can pull you away from where you really need to go. And I'll tell you what, social media is a huge rabbit hole, right?
Way too many shiny objects.
You need to get in there, and you need to have your strategy. That's why, and I'll get into social in a minute, but it's important to have a sort of a content strategy so that you go in and you get out. You carve out your amount of time and you dedicate it, but you don't, find yourself watching silly cat stories on YouTube.
Oh my gosh! So that's a huge thing. I've listened to another trainer, and they were talking about the need to when you go into social media for business, stay in business mode. Don't get caught down those rabbit holes of looking at the little kittens and all those other little things, and your cousin's 4-month-old baby and all that great stuff. Stay in business mode and then get out, and then make time later on when you're done. Block out the time to do the fun stuff, and you can watch the kittens and the 4-month-old.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all social people, so it's easy to get down that track.
Way too easy.
And when you're on social, it's not just about you posting and going either. It's important that you engage. I mean, that's the whole point of social media. So you do want to engage, and don't just click like on everybody's post, but make a comment. 4 words or more is more meaningful. So you do want to do that, but again, set your time out. And a great time to do that is when you're sitting there, at a doctor's appointment, or I can't say at a red light because you shouldn't have your phone in your hand when you're driving, but you know, if you're just queued up for something and you're waiting and you've got like those little bits of downtime, that's a great time to go in and do that because your time is going to be limited. So you can control that a little bit. So jumping into marketing tactics. What are the difference between tactics and strategy is the strategy is where you want to go, and the tactics are tools that are going to help you get there. So you want to plan out your tactics, and I recommend actually calendarizing them. That's a word, having a calendar, having a budget and a calendar of the activities that you want to focus in on. You want to allocate it by your prospects, current clients, and if you're a broker, potential agents, or sometimes you get certain spiffs. I'm not sure about your group, but sometimes if you bring in other agents, you know, you might get a discount on something or what have you. So you want to allocate your prospects, clients, and agents that you work with. You want to recommend, I recommend you focus on a top 5 and you prioritize these on your target. Because if you try to be everything to everyone, you are nothing to no one, right?
Right.
And it's more important that you zero in on a handful of things and you're really good at it and you're consistently there, rather than just that shotgun approach, like, you know, the spaghetti up against the wall. It's just not going to give you the consistent results. So zero in on your top 5 activities. And if you work in a team, you can kind of divide and conquer with your skill set. So that's, I don't know if some of you do work on teams.
Oh yeah, we definitely have a few teams here.
Yeah, so you know, that's a great way to go. Like some people might have the more analytical mode and others have the more creative mode, and so you split up your tactics that way and work together. So I always, personally, I like teams. I'm a divide and conquer, but I also know some folks who just really would rather put their head down and get their stuff done on their own, and that works for you. That's awesome as well.
Yeah.
And what's also nice in working with a team is there's certain tactics that you know are good for your target market, but you really don't like doing them. That's nice to partner up with someone who has a different skill set than you and gravitates towards different things, and you can kind of fill that void. So if you're thinking about that, reach out to Kevin. I'm sure he can give a good assessment of everyone's strengths and weaknesses and might be able to help, you know, set up some accountability partners.
For sure.
So when we're getting into marketing tactics, it really is all about relationships. So why am I not leading with prospecting here? Well, I kind of am, but it's relationship marketing. That's your sphere of influence, your SOI, and that's king. That is the most important thing you can do in this business. It's about expanding your sphere of influence and keeping yourself top of mind. Any day, I would take a couple of referrals over 100 Zillow leads. I don't know who's in agreement with me with that, but these online leads can really, I mean, it can be a piece of your marketing plan, but it should not be the focus. The focus is, who have you done business with before? And who can they refer you to? That is really where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, the most back from your time. So
Yeah,
make
we preach that.
Pardon?
We preach that a lot, Allie.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the truth. And you are in a relationship business. This is not a transactional business. If anyone could say they're in a transactional business, it would be me in escrow. And I'm telling you, I'm not in a transaction business.
It's all relationships, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is where you want to take the time to make those calls, to draft notes. Emails as well as handwritten notes are very powerful. Nobody, it's like a lost art of a handwritten note. And doing your pop box. Also in that relationship marketing area is being involved in charity and community contribution, not just because it's the right thing to do and you do want to support your community, but it keeps you connected. Having customer appreciation events and thank yous, a little gift card, a thank you. When someone sends you a referral, take the time to send them a note, drop off a little thank you gift to them. That's like the truest of all endorsements and the highest of all compliments is to refer someone to you. So nurture that and show your appreciation. And I know some of this sounds kind of remedial, but you might be surprised how many folks don't think through the logical step of sending out that little thank you note. Getting involved in trade events. So there are events like your, association, your realtor association things where you can network with affiliates, such as myself. You can network with other agents, so that's important to do. Also connecting with Chamber of Commerce and educational, religious events, business partner alignments. These are all, again, it's all relationships. It's all forging relationships. If you are holding a new home buyer seminar and you don't have someone like Bill or Cameron there, you're really missing the mark. So it's an opportunity for you to align with your business partners, and it makes you that much more effective in these events. And you can cross-refer. Also having that social media plan. Again, I get into this a little bit later, but you want to make sure that you have consistency across platforms. And then there's the CRM and drip campaign. So that's customer relationship management and your drip campaigns. Drip campaigns meaning, I don't know how much, Kevin, you've gotten into this with your team, but a drip campaign is a keeping in touch campaign, might be another term for it, where you have something going out consistently, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks via email. It could be a newsletter that you send out one week, and the next week, you just want to make sure you're hitting the top holidays, happy Labor Day to folks and things like that. We're just sending out little tips every once in a while on easy, quick spruce ups you can do to always keep your house marketable or things like that. So that also kind of falls into this next area, which is lead nurturing. So that's bringing someone who might be a cold or lukewarm up to a warm lead. So maybe you've met someone through something, you get them in your CRM, and then you set regular times to talk with them and to follow up with them. This is very important because you don't want to just have someone and have a sticky note and forget about them. What's the point of going to a Chamber of Commerce and collecting all these business cards and then shoving them in a drawer? Why did you even bother spending your time there or collecting their cards or sponsoring an event? It's all about getting them into your CRM, getting them into there and putting notes on when you want to follow up with them and identifying what type of a lead they are and where you want to go with them. So that's important. And then just other things that fall in with lead nurturing is just being out there. Door knocking, that's sort of working your farm, sending out videos regularly through social media so folks see you, or there's some programs where you can text little videos where you're just saying hi, happy Monday, super quick and short, like a 20-second clip. Of course, having open houses and getting to know when you can work an open house, even if it's not yours, but it's in your farm, and everyone's going to see your signs and your name and your farm, they're going to say, wow, so-and-so's really, Kevin's quite the marketer, isn't he? So that keeps you top of mind in that area, in your neighborhood. And again, just doing your outbound calling, staying in touch with folks, doing wellness checks. How are you doing?
And, I really like that term, lead nurturing. And I like the graphic too, by the way, because it's like you get a lead and the lead's like a little seed, right? And you have to water it, and you have to nurture it, and you have to care for the lead, and slowly bring it into a possible fruiting plant of a paying client, that you're going to actually receive monetary benefit from, or
and that lead that you're nurturing may stay in their home for 30 years. But they might refer you to 15 people because you kept that relationship alive and they know you're an expert in your market.
Exactly. That's great.
And that's another reason why you don't want to cast such a wide net that you don't have that frequency, that you're spread so thin that you can't build those relationships.
Good point.
So, and then as we get into marketing tactics, so lead generation, that's public relations, that's representing you're your own brand. There's, of course, traditional advertising and digital activities. You can buy leads. You can get out there on video with YouTube, social media, virtual open houses that keeps your face, your voice, your brand, again, your personality out there. Putting on different events, as I mentioned before, outbound, so you can do, it's kind of fun. It's hard sitting there all by yourself and you're making your calls, say you're calling expireds, which, well, probably not the best example in this market, but there might be a few of them, but whatever your outbound calls are, you're calling FISBOs, and people hang up on you. Sometimes if you do a call-a-thon and you're just doing it together, or even if you check in with someone, you can kind of shake that slime off a little faster. So sometimes doing your calls together and checking in with someone makes it a little bit easier. Again, door knocking, open houses. Another just kind of a cool little tactic is if you ever do door hangers that keep yourself present in your farm, have you ever thought about doing a market update on that door hanger? So you're not just leaving something, but you're leaving something of value to that prospect that they will actually take a look at, because who doesn't want to know what the value of their home is in their neighborhood, right? So that kind of makes things that you're leaving at their doorstep a little more valuable. Again, just to quickly touch on social media, don't be a secret agent. In other words, I can't tell you how many times I look on social media and say somebody wants to join one of my pitch groups, and I look, I'm like, is this person an agent? I should not have to ask that question, right?
Right.
To actually scroll through their feed. Oh, here, they've posted an open house. But I mean, first of all, if you're going to post an open house in your feed, you better have your DRE somewhere on there, right? So that's important. You want to have your logo on there. You want to have your little summary about who you are, that you're a real estate agent. People should have to try to figure that out. You should be, broadcasting that. Let everyone know you're an agent and you can help them. So also recommend, it's a great way to keep in touch, but you don't want to offend people. So I always recommend not getting political. You can have your own group of people with that's a whole nother topic on getting into Facebook, et cetera, and having groups, but you actually can set up separate groups if you want to share your opinions with like-minded folks. But don't do that across your platform on your social media, because you can alienate half the people out there. So why alienate someone? Keep your post positive.
Right.
Be clear. Leverage social media with virtual showings if you can. Take advantage of various resources and plan your content. And again, that's going to keep you out of that rabbit hole, but it's also going to make it easy, because if you start getting very busy, you might let it slide. Don't let it slide, because consistency is important. So if you can plan at least 1 or 2 themed posts a week, then it's very easy for you to grab it and just throw it up there, because you've already done the thinking in advance.
Yeah, and you can schedule posts, especially on Facebook. You can schedule a few posts so something's going to go out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the implementation of your plan and accountability. So this is very critical, is for you to identify what needs to get done, who's going to do it, and when it's going to be accomplished by. So you might have certain vendors pinged out in this, or resources that you work with, or again, if you work in a team, who's doing what, and have it planned out. It's going to make it a lot easier to implement, and when it needs to be done by, so you don't miss certain things. And I recommend developing an activity funnel with your core metrics. And I think if you're going to listen to anything I'm saying today, this is the most important thing, is that you want to reverse engineer what activities you're going to do that are going to align with your strategic goals. So to get X number of sales, how many listings are needed? To get X listing appointments, how many calls do you need to make? How many doors do you need to knock out? So identify what are your tactical things that you implement, track them so you have an idea of what your ratios are with them. You just want to get better year over year, right? So you might discover that, one agent who is just king of door knocking and ends up with tons of listing appointments. You think, well, I'm going to try that, but you can't stand it. Having someone close the door in your face is mortifying to you. Well, you're probably not going to have those same ratios. So that might not be the thing to put in your plan. So you do want to track your activities and identify what's working. And then you can start working backwards. So for example, say you want 24 sales, 12 buy and 12 listings. So for your 12 seller transactions, how many listings do you need? So for example, you've identified you have a 50% close rate. You need to have 24 listings a year in order to get those 12 sales transactions. So you want to target 2 per month. And how many listing appointments do you need per month? So 1/3 of your presentations you win. So you're going to need 6 listing appointments a month. How many calls do you need to make to get that appointment? So say 1 in every 25 calls gets you an appointment that sticks, that they actually keep. So you reverse engineer that. You need to make 150 listing calls a month. Well, that sounds pretty daunting, doesn't it? But then you break that out and say, that's just 5 a day. Well, that's doable. And so the other thing I recommend, if we talk about accountability, is if you have an accountability partner, and I don't recommend that be your spouse. It really helps your relationship if it's not your significant other.
Good call.
Might be another agent, but it doesn't even have to be another agent. It's just someone who's going to hold your feet to the fire. And what's nice about that is if you've only connected with 4 people a day, and I don't mean 5 calls per day like you made a dial or you left a voicemail. Great, leave a voicemail if you get one. But I mean conversations. And you've only had 4. And it's 7:30 and it's time for you to send in your accountability to your partner. Maybe you'll make that extra call. So by 8 o'clock, you made your 5 contacts. Maybe that's just the extra accountability that's going to help you get there. So that's how I recommend that when you set out those goals and you set out your action plan, that you reverse engineer it so that you're making sure that your goals are realistic and achievable, and that your activity is in alignment with it.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I appreciate that because a lot of times we get so we spread ourselves too thin. We're not identifying these specific little things that we need to do. Number of calls, number of conversations. We talk about a lot how conversations lead to deals. So it's a direct correlation of if you're having lots of conversations about real estate with people, that is a direct correlation of deals. So,
and the best way to really know what's working for you is to track it. I know it's kind of a pain in the neck, but if you can just do a little spreadsheet and just try to keep track, or just somehow, whatever works for you. Try to get it written down somehow though, rather than keep it in the back of your head. But even in the back of your head is better than not being aware at all, because it's going to help you with budget year. So, you want to identify when you're spending your money on something, is it working for you? And just because you stuck it in your annual plan, if it's not working for you, get rid of it. Especially if you're new in the business, well, even if you're not new in the business, who wants to waste money? So just because something's working for Paul down the street doesn't mean it's working for you. Paul might have a different kind of approach than you do. So you want to track it. You want to make sure that any money you're spending on your advertising and your printing and your direct mail and your training and your gifts, keep track of all it. I mean, not only do you need to keep track of it because it's going to help you reconcile with the IRS at the end of the year, come April, right? But, so you do need to track it. But since you're tracking it anyhow, you might as well track what kind of ROI or return on investment that you're getting from that. And then you can sort of change on the fly and make sure that you're putting your money in the right place. So you want to sort of look at your budget with what's variable, what's going to go up and down depending on what your activities are. And of course, figure in some of your fixed costs as well. Keeping in mind what you might have allocated as fixed will actually become variable as your business steps up. So, as you're driving more, as you're busier, you're going to use more gas. Your insurance might go up a little bit more if you're shifting it from personal to business. You might need to purchase more lock boxes as you get more listings, etc. So just kind of keep all of those types of things in mind. And there we go. So, and I already mentioned this, it's odd, but just keeping your finger on the pulse throughout the whole plan, so that you're identifying what's working for you. So I recommend periodic audits on where you're spending your money, and your time is your money as well. So where you're spending your time. So if anyone has any questions, I know that we've kind of gone over here, so I want to make sure that you can reach out to me. Here is my contact information. And just to take a minute to tell you a little bit about what I do in escrow options. If you don't mind, Kevin, if I could just do a short little spiel here.
Yeah, of course.
In addition to helping you work on your marketing, we do have some really cool tools that are free available to you. One being Altos reports that can help you keep your finger on the pulse of the market. So if you'd like to get those for free, if you're not already getting those, they're real-time market reports with what's actually going on in the market currently with active listings. Also, I have something called list reports that can help you with your marketing materials, anywhere from a single property website to various materials that you can have at open houses or mailings that you can do that are just in a nice template. They look so much better if you're at an open house than printing out the MLS profile of it. They're very consumer friendly. Again, that's also something else that's free. Marketing that I can help you with. And my company, we have 12 different offices in 5 counties, 25 escrow officers available for you. That makes us one of the largest independent escrow companies in Southern California. We're SOC 1 and 2 certified. We're the only independent escrow company that's trained in cybersecurity by the FBI. We have complimentary concierge seller's notary service for your clients. We have upfront HOA assistance, which makes things very convenient, especially on those tight timeline deals. And we can just reconcile that with your seller at closing. And we do have complimentary wired commissions at close of escrow with commission of your broker. So those are just a few of the things that set us apart. So don't forget to write us in on your counters on the sell side and give us a shot on the buy side and write us in as well. We'll take great care of you. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you everybody for joining today. And if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help.
Awesome, Allie. Much appreciated. We really, enjoy you coming on to our webinars and reaffirming a lot of stuff that we talk about. But we just really appreciate your time today.
My pleasure. And oh, here we go. I was just trying to pull the thing up so I can stop sharing there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, guys, get out there making a great day and a productive week, and we'll see you next week on the webinar. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.